this is where we're at. We got an enemy. We can shoot. And we got more to do. So we're going to take just a brief second and let's go ahead and in this round destroy the projectile once it gets to a certain position. After we do, and we're also going to instantiate our explosions to hide that we destroyed the player or ourselves. So let's go ahead and do a simpler one, and that is our projectile script. So two things. One, we know if the projectile goes off screen about here, we don't need it anymore. And we don't want it to be so long where it can just, you can guess and just throw a whole bunch of projectiles at the player and I'm sorry, at the enemy, and the enemy never comes on screen. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this and we're going to name this player, actually, because we need to differentiate the player, and that will come into play a little bit later. Destroy. And this one is a very simple script. It's one line of code.
I like it. It could be like that.
Yes, it is.
All right.
So what we're going to do is two things. We can base this on time or we can base this on distance. It's going to be like 2 lines of code. We're going to base this on distance, on where it's at along the x-axis. Once again, we're looking for it to go off screen, maybe about right here, and it looks like that's about 12 along the x-axis. So what we're going to do, if transform dot position dot x is greater than or equal to 12, then what we're going to do is destroy this game object. And that's it. Now we just need to get this on our projectile. So I can select this, component, script, player projectile destroy, hit play, and now we got that working. Let's make some explosions. So this is, we're going to create game object, and the game object we're going to create is a particle system. A nice, pretty particle system. And we're just going to make kind of an explosion. So I'm going to decrease the duration. And I am going to kill the start speed a little bit. We're going to greatly kill the start lifetime. Start size, increase that. And emission, that's fine for the rate. Cone, we're going to change this to a hemisphere. And let's decrease the start lifetime. And I'm going to bring down the start speed some more. Shape. Maybe I'll change it to a box. And then you also have things like the velocity over lifetime that you can play with. But we don't really need to do that. Now, a couple of things just playing around with the current particle system. that we have our color over lifetime, which is a ramp that we can change. So let's say we start out black. Actually, we don't start out black, we start out in this color. And we get to black. I'm recording. So I'm playing around with this. I'm not still too happy with the necessary its direction, but we can move forward from that. Hemisphere. Okay, I might go with the hemisphere. Yeah, that looks better. Alright. And then we can also play with the size over lifetime. It gives us this. Here we go. Add a keyframe. And then there's lots of different things you can play with. And then of course you have your default particle shader that you can mess around with, or you can completely forego this and just plug in a sprite with a texture that you want to use for it. Lots of different things. I tend to kind of like stay with the sprite with the texture. I like the way that they look. If you want to drop one in there, you can just look for something that looks close to what you need and go from that. But or you can use the standard assets to kind of give the look that you want. There's lots of different ways you can do it, and it just comes down to what is the final look that you're looking for. Would I be happy necessarily with this final look? No. We could play around with materials, create. Well, you can't download an explosion as a package. No. You can download, I don't mind if you use a shader or sprite, but actual explosion now.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. And then particles, additive, and then the particle system, renderer, default. And then that's the default particle texture right there. And then you can play around with it. The only thing with this one though, if you go to black, it disappears because of the nature of what you're doing. But you also have other options. That's additive soft, alpha blended, which is kind of close to what we had before. also doing it pre-multiply. Multiply, which just kind of gives you mostly black. Multiply double. Vertex lit. And the last one, additive multiply, which is not going to work because you kind of really do need sprite to work with. I think I'm going to go with additive and that. But I no longer have my other, like my black and other stuff to go to because of how I'm using the shader. Does that make sense? So even if I run it, the stuff that's black is just not going to give me that, but it might work. It may not. I can always go back and change it because it's a prefab and this is a material. So if I'm happy with this and I'm okay, I'm gonna go ahead and name this explosion. And we're gonna prefab it.
We're going to tag it.
We don't need to tag it. And we're going to get rid of the explosion in our hierarchy. Now, what we're going to do is let's start off with the enemy behavior. We're going to create a public game object explosion. Remove that. So, public game object explosion. And when we hit the player or the projectile hits us, we're going to spawn an explosion. So instantiate explosion, transform dot position, quaternion identity. Remember, when you instantiate, it is the game object, position, and then rotation. That's all that is. Spawn game object, and then that's position, rotation. And then that's got to go above the re-pawn. Great job, pawn. Where we're resetting the enemy position, because we want it to fire, because if it happens after this, the enemy is in a new position and then it fires. So it's not going to really work. And we're going to hit build. Does it work? It does work because they're all spelled the same, and it's not something that is a part of Unity. It's something that I created. So as long as my spelling is the same, I'm fine. But it is bugging me. And there we go. Oh yes. Now, on the enemy, we need to drag in our explosion from our prefab folder. And we have explosions. Well, there's a couple things I need to do to start off with. The first thing I need to do is on my explosions, it loops. I need to turn that off. And I also need to bring up the start size as well too. So that's what we have thus far. Now, to actually kill those other explosions, yes, we do need a script. So I'm going to create a new C# script. Destroy explosions. And this one is really simple. Goes in update. And what we're going to do is destroy this game object. And then we give it a time. So let's say it's around a second. Let's say 1.25 seconds, which is a little bit longer than what we need, but it's fine. And now what we need to do is just get it on the prefab. Select the prefab component. I can drag it on top of that. That works. I'm just going to add it this way. And destroy explosions. And there we go. And we have that. Now, since we're here, let's go ahead and add some more to the player. Player stats. And what we're going to do is public. I want to do static. Yeah. We'll just do this. Public int health. Public int lives. We can also do a score. Public int score. And there we go. And then since we're here, we'll go underneath this. Player states. And we're going to go ahead and skeleton some of this out as well too. So, alright, public, state, and we got plain, dead, exploding, pause, and say one more. That's it for right now. And then public, state, states, equal to state, dot plain for right now. Now we have this here, and we have the enemy hitting the player and taking the player's health. I don't want the way that the code is going to be set up, we need a lot of this stuff handled by the player. We could set it up to be handled by the enemy, but we're just going to keep it simple for some of these and let the player take a bulk of what needs to happen. I don't necessarily need to instantiate an explosion on the player. I will need to instantiate eventually, and I guess we'll go ahead and put that in there. But the player is going to handle a lot of what the player does and is affected by it when it collides with another object. So I'm going to copy that, and what we're going to do is void, and this has to be done correctly because this is a method within Unity. On trigger enter, collider, other, object, explosions. So if other dot tag is equal to enemy or other dot tag is equal to, and this is a little bit later on, but it'll give you a clue of some things we're going to do. Enemy projectile and explosions differently, and that's fine. We're going to instantiate an explosion. We're going to decrement the player's health, let's say by 25. And then we're going to also look to see if we need to kill the player. But we'll just do this right now. If health is less than or equal to 0, lives are going to be plus or equal to, in this case, lives is going to be minus 1, or I can state it like this. They both do the same thing if it's just 1. And then health is plus or equal to 100. And we also need to put this in here. And lives are greater than 0. And I haven't plugged in my explosion, so let's do that on the player. And the enemy, this is the enemy. So the player, drag the explosion in. And I'm looking at the inspector and I know it's working. Now, we have this in here, and what we want to do, when we want to start the respawn, let's do a little bit of the respawn. Eventually, what we're going to do is create a coroutine that's going to tell the player to respawn and to be invincible if you lose all your health, so that it kind of gives you that old school feel. And that's the one thing I forgot to put in here. But for right now, we're going to leave this as is. Let's add just a little bit more accoutrement. Already from a previous project, we have explosion sound. So I'm going to grab that. I'm going to create a folder. And the folder will show an Explorer. Let's copy that. And let's get a little bit some explosion sounds in here as well too. Okay. So we have a couple of things that need explosion sounds. We got the player, we have the enemy, and literally if those two have the explosion sound, that's going to take care of all the explosion sound. I could very well, instead of coding this, is just put it on the explosion prefab, which will work as well too, which quite simply will be this. I will select this, not this, but I'll go to my prefabs, select the explosion, component, audio source, plug in my audio source, in this case will be the explosion sound. We do want it to play on awake, but we don't want it to loop. And I'm going to turn it up. I don't know if that audio is going to go through from the and be recorded, but we want that. No, that's just the audio source. I didn't actually create a delay. It shouldn't, because they're all different instances of the audio. I think what's happening is before it can finish playing, it's being destroyed. So let's see something. Destroy explosion. Let's say we give this a full 3 seconds. Then it will be destroyed. Only if I have a decimal point. So you can hear more of it. So we can do that as well too. And the very last thing, I guess we can do a little bit of this, is if we are here, and I might actually go ahead and kind of script out some of the coroutine, is we got IEnumerator, respawn player. So one of the first things we're going to do, if this happens, we're going to go to a dead state. So state is going to be equal to state.dead. We can probably start off with exploding, because that's what it really is doing. And then what we're going to do while it's doing that, we're going to have its position be in the center of the screen, but it's going to go off the screen, right, -6. Transform dot position is going to be equal to new vector 3. That vector 3 is going to be 0 along x. Let's do -8 and 0 along z. And then we can go from states back to state, and then we're officially dead. At this state, we can't do anything. We won't be able to play. We won't be able to play while we're exploding as well too. And then we figure out how long we want to wait. Yield, return, new. wait for seconds. And this is not the final thing, but we're just going to kind of skeleton this out. And we're going to go back to a new, our previous vector 3. From here, I'm sorry, our previous position that we start with. And then we're going to go to state is equal to, state. And we're back to plane. Well, we're going to go to, we'll go to plane for right now. And then we're not going to worry about getting the invincible in there just yet. And then before we go back to a plane state, why did I do that? That's going to be, let's say, 2 seconds. Transform dot position is equal to what I have here. And then we're going to health. It's going to be equal to 100. And we'll let the lives go ahead and we can decrement the lives from here. And we'll decrement the lives from there. That's fine. And we'll make it plus or equal. Actually, we'll just make it equal 100 stuff plus. The only other thing I want to do is I don't want any of this to happen unless I'm playing. So if state is equal to states.plane, then we do all of that. Now, to get it going, start coroutine, respond player, open and close parentheses, semicolon. There we go. Sorry about that. All right, we hit build, and let's do a test. And then we're back up.
Is that code also set to that if it had no lives to run out of as well?
Well, if we have no lives, what's going to eventually happen is we'll put this in else if lives are less than or equal to 0, debug log you lose, and we'll go to our lose script. That's what we're going to do.